with plants. My name is Anastasia. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today we are going to be touring my grow tent. Now it's not 100% finished. There's still some things that I want to add to this. So this is still like a little bit of a work in progress. However, it looks a lot different from the last time you guys saw it. The last time you saw this tent, I had just built it and it was basically empty. There was just the main shelf in here. So we now have plants in there. I've had this grow tent for coming up on a month now. Basically how I want to do this video is I want to go around and show you how I have my grow tent set up first. We are going to go over the mechanics of everything, and then the last half of the video I am going to show you each and every single plant that I have in here. And it's quite a lot. Without further ado, let's just get into it. This is my grow tent. This is it from top to bottom, and I did vacuum for you guys, so you're welcome. The bottom was covered in dog hair. All disclosures aside, let's just jump into it. So in terms of grow lights, I have quite a few. Right now I have 1, 2, 3 on the top. These are Barina T5s. And then I also have another 2 feet of T5s along each side. This is the other one over here. Up top, we do not have it on, but this is a T10 going across the top. And we have the little fan in the corner. I keep it on pretty much 24/7 at a speed of 3, so that is pretty low. It's just enough to move around the air, but not enough to really move the leaves. And then in terms of shelves, I did end up adding another shelf because you guys were right in that I do have some extra room. So this is actually a shelf that had my Hoya on it that was downstairs. So I ended up moving this one upstairs, and then this is the same shelf that I had that you saw if you happen to catch me building it initially. None of the top rows have any grow lights on it. However, the bottom one does. The bottom one has 2 T5s going across, and that's just because I'm keeping Hoya on the bottom shelf, and I know Hoya do appreciate more light. I am toying around with the idea of putting a light back here just because this shelf in particular has the least amount of light. Depending on how the plants do, I might add another one. As for the shelf over here, this top one is a T8, and that's just because I had Hoya under it before, but if these anthurium start to bleach, I might have to replace it with a T5. And then same story down here. The grow light down here is a T8, but these Hoya I'm sure will do okay. In terms of humidity, I try to keep the tent at around 80% to high 70s, but usually 80% to the low 80s is where it runs generally. I also added a little grid that I attached to the beam up here. It primarily has Hoya on the very top, and then over time I do want to add more plants to it. So this one is still a work in progress. I might also buy more squares just because there is some extra space here, and then I might also want to do the same thing up top here just because I want to make sure to like capitalize, you know, on all of the space I have. Yeah, that is the logistics of my grow tent. I don't think I missed anything, but if you guys have any questions, then please let me know. Now we are going to get into the actual chore. I am going to start off on this wall here. We're going to do this shelf next, and then I'm going to take you guys down back on the floor to go over all of the plants on the main shelf. So starting up at the very top of my grid, I have on the left-hand wall here, I have these baskets, and I'm thinking about getting some more of these baskets because I quite like them. There's more of a shallow one, there's a deeper one. So this plant up top here is my Hoya undulata splash, and you can see that the splash is getting purple because it's so close to the grow lights. So that's initially why I wanted the Hoya so close to it, and it's finally giving me new growth. You can see it's working on a new leaf here, and it's got 2 little baby leaves and that really beautiful purple splashing. And it's just been living up top. Next plant is going to be the Hoya NGG. This one has been a little bit slower to grow for me. I do have some new leaves forming right there. They are very pretty. I do have a long history of offing this plant, so I decided to put it in the grow tent to decrease those chances happening for a 3rd time in a row. This next little cutie is my Hoya Argentea Princess. It is still a 2-leafer. However, I think I saw it's finally growing a growth point, or it's the beginnings of a growth point. I have no idea if the camera is actually going to pick it up. It's very, very hard to see, but it looks like it is forming a growth point. Next one is one of my more difficult Hoya that I definitely moved in here for the purpose of it continuing to grow, because it took forever, absolutely forever, to activate a growth point and get new leaves. So this Hoya is stunning, by the way. I'm gonna have to figure out what exactly the name of it is. I want to say it's like nap 16. It is a nap Hoya. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. Lovely ridges. I love the texture of this one so much. Also, the new leaves come in a really, really dark purple color, so that's a lot of fun. But this one was so slow to get going compared to my other ones. For example, I got this in July, and it's just now started to grow. This one I am not going to take out because it's going to be a little bit tough to put back in, because we got a tendril growing out there. But this is my Hoya Black Magic, and it sprouted a tendril with some new baby leaves on the way, so I decided to move this one here close to the light to keep that color going. The next one down below on the ledge is my Hoya Polynera intervariegated. Finally, she started to grow again. It did the Polynera thing where it starts to grow and then it stops and kind of goes dormant for a little bit, and then it grows again. So we got some new growth happening, and it's not reverted, which we love to see that. Next to here is, I've got to figure out like a different cup to put this in. This is my Hoya Ganan Gadin. I'm just gonna take you guys on like a top view of it. So those were all the propagation leaves, and it's got 2 tendrils going. These were the newer leaves that grew, and they look really good. There is also a little bit of splash, which is fun. I don't think it's going to turn into like a ghost or anything like that. That's the Ganangading, and then right next to it, we have my NSC Wendley. Now, I rotted this one out at the end of last year, and it has been rooting away in a prop box this entire time, and finally we got good roots, and I repotted it, I think yesterday. It was very, very recent. We got some roots continuing over here. I just have it in a tall square pot and with a cup to catch all of the water when I water it. And I got it as a really small seedling. This is its brand spanking new leaf. It just unfurled this leaf, so I'm being very gentle with it because I actually want a nice one, since the last 2 are definitely beat up. So yeah, really glad to have this plant doing well in my collection again. We're going to pivot all the way to the other side. So we're just going to start talking about some anthurium. This is all of the anthurium on the top of the shelf. Let's get front and center. This is so cute. Looks so good in the viewfinder right now, and I love that pink little sinus. Okay. This is my, let me get to the order right, the Hue King of Spades crossed with the Ace of Spades dark form. Now, there are a couple plants that I just moved into here because the substrate that it's growing in is very moss heavy, and it hasn't really been drying out very much because of the moss in here, and as a result, I haven't been feeding it, aka watering it, and so you can see that the new leaf is a little bit chlorotic. So it's been in high humidity, and I decided to move it into a little bit of lower humidity. It's been in a prop box of like 90+%. So I thought by moving it down into 80% humidity, it'll encourage the substrate to get a little bit more dry, so I can water it more and feed it more, and we can get the chlorosis problem taken care of, because the plant is so pretty. It's really taking on the Ace of Spades shape, but I can see the Hue King of Spades coming through in the veins. Next to it, we have my Carla cross with Dark Phoenix. That is rehabbing in moss. I just kind of wanted to restart this plant. It definitely has the growth pattern of a Carla, because Carlas tend to do this sort of growth pattern where the petioles are just straight out. We do have a new leaf forming, so that's amazing. There's that one, that's a fairly new one that I transitioned to moss. So this one back here is one of the Queen of Hearts that I took off of the main plant. This one got a little bit beat up. I think this was an emergent when I first got it, so I repotted it separately. Down here we have my Carla crossed with a Forgetii. This is one of them. I have two currently. Got a little bit beat up, but that's okay. It actually has another offshoot down here. It's super cute. No fused sinus as of yet. Okay, this plant back here has seen better days. So this leaf not only has some damage from thrips, it also has some spider mite damage, could be flat mite damage, and then there's mechanical damage from the leaf unfurling. It doesn't have any pests actively. I treated it and I've been checking, so I am hoping that the new leaf that is coming through here is going to be much nicer, because this one looks quite ugly. Oh, wait, let me tell you what this is. I didn't even say what this was. A Mad Carla crossed with a stripy Mad Carla Narrow. The handwriting is coming off. I'm gonna have to make a label for it. But yes, that's what it is. And you can kind of see it in the veins, the Carla for sure. But yes, very, very ugly and damaged leaf. Moving one step down, this is what remains of my NSC red crystal. This is a very sad and touchy subject. I found out that a lot of the roots were rotted, not to mention that this has been dealing with spider mites for the longest time. However, it does have an inflow. I definitely want to collect pollen off of it. I am very, very hopeful that this one will make a comeback because, again, I repotted it into moss, I think like 2 days ago, I want to say, and a new leaf has emerged from the cataphyll. So it'll do okay. It'll grow new roots. It's just looking very, very sad right now. This one back here is my Goliath. A lot of these are just new rehabs that I did. So I recently repotted this one out of the tree fern into the new substrate that I'm trying out this year for anthurium. This next one is a recent transition as well. I just did this one about a day ago. This is a plant that was, I believe, downstairs. What are you? So this is a dark Ace of Spades F2 cross with a Black Beauty. Yeah, this is like one of the plants that I'm lukewarm on. I don't know if I'll keep it. It's just not really inspiring much joy yet. I'm just gonna move it aside. This little cutie right here is I believe it's the No ID Stormy Pink Lemonade. It's the other one that I've kept in ambient, and I transitioned this one recently as well. No movement yet. We'll see how she does. And then this one back here was Pap Lux F2 crossed with a dress. Yes, that's what it is. And since I filmed that video, the cataphyll did sprout a new growth point, so we will have a new leaf on the way, which is exciting. So that's the last one on this shelf. Okay, moving down to the very last row. These are just the Hoyas that I extra care about. These are my favorite children, although you're not supposed to pick favorites. You know, these are definitely my favorites. So we're gonna start off with this one. This is my Hoya Wilbur Graves. The specific one that I got is Thailand, and she's very, very pretty. She is quite splashy and silver, the bottom row especially. Her new growth has kind of been half and half, so we'll get like a very, very splashy leaf, and then the other leaf is more on the green side. We'll kind of see how the tendril continues to grow. If not, we might need to cut it back a little bit, but so far I've been happy with the growth. I don't mind a bit of green on this plant, so this one is going back. Right next to it, we have my Hoya Mitrata Silver, which is probably one of the top Hoya in my collection. I love this plant so very much. It is in the old mix. I desperately need to get it out of it. It's got one tendril here, and then it's got another tendril up here. Okay, you guys have no idea how close I just got to tipping this plant over. I wanted to show you that it's working on 4 leaves at the top. It's actually got 2 active growth points up here. One has a tendril and one not yet, and there's 4 leaves. Yeah, this one isn't like the easiest in my humble opinion. I've had a lot of leaves start forming and then they die off, so I've just been keeping it in high humidity and it seems to be working better that way. One thing, in case you guys don't know, the backs of the leaves are so freaking stunning. It's like such a deep purple color. Really, really pretty. If the foliage on the front hasn't sold you, the backs might. I have this one in the middle. I moved this one from my garage Hoya just because I need to keep a better eye on it since I do love it. This is my Hoya clementiorum. I got this from UPT and this is the Northern Sumatra variety of it since there are quite a lot on the market. It's super nice. It's got that ribbed texture. These lower leaves have been exposed to a little bit more light, whereas this leaf has been a bit less light and it's getting a little bit purple around the edges. We have also a new tendril with a new little baby leaf, which is super cute. You can see the pubescence on it. It's just a really fun plant. I love this one so much, and I just want like a really big trellis of it, so that's why I'm keeping it in my grow tent. The next plant back here is the Acha David Neal. It did stall out a little bit because I underwatered it for some time. Finally, I got my watering back under control and it's got 3 tendrils simultaneously. So there's 1, 2, and then the third one is right here. And there's new leaves on the way. I can't wait because, again, love it. I love the splash, the veins. The back also has that nice deep purple stripe that the Acha species seems to have. Or wait, you guys told me that Acha is just the location that these Hoya were found, but it is not a species as of yet. Hopefully I have that right. Anyway, one of my favorites. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, why do you have this in the back corner? And that is a good question. This is a pink princess, goes without any introduction because you guys have seen this plant a bajillion million times. This is, I believe, the new tissue culture version of it. I think it's called like a pink princess galaxy or something. Essentially, it's just more marbled. And I kind of don't want to let this one go. It definitely needs a new pole and everything like that, but it's been having a hard time getting out of the sheath. As you can see, it's stuck in the sheath currently, so I thought maybe some higher humidity might do the leaves some good, but it's been really neglected and it looks beat up, so it does get enough light in the corner, and that's just why I've decided to put it there. Yeah, that's my pink princess. So back to being in front of the camera, I figured that I just wanted to go through the bottom to the top of the main shelf back here. So we're gonna start with the Hoya shelf on the bottom. First one up is my Hoya sigillatus. I believe I always pronounce this one wrong. It's been in the garage and I've been having the hardest time keeping it from drying out for a long, long time. So I figured maybe the high humidity might help. There are some active growth points happening, no new leaves yet, so I want to give this one the best shot it has because I do love the foliage on it. I love the bluey green color that it gives off. And then the next one that I have down here is, oh boy, what is this one called? I'm gonna have to pop it up on the screen because the name evades me at this moment. I'm so sorry. So the main attraction is basically the texture of the leaves. You can see the ribbing, they're quite shiny, but on the back, they got like the pubescence going for them. The new leaves are absolutely adorable. They come in very fuzzy and a little bit peachy. Just a really darling plant. I got it on a trellis and I don't remember what the blooms look like of this one, but the foliage is very, very pretty for sure. And then the rest is on a shelf. So this shelf, or like a tray is probably a better word for this. So this tray used to be in the TV room downstairs and I just moved it upstairs since all of these Hoya have been a little bit trickier in my opinion, but also I've been keeping them dry a bit too much for their liking. There are some Hoya on here that might be on the chopping block because because as you guys know, hopefully you guys know that I've been trying to downsize my collection this year. There are some really amazing Hoya that I will for sure be keeping here, and then some Hoya that I definitely won't. So let's start off with maybe the chopping block Hoyas, and then we'll get to the good Hoyas. This is one of them. This is a Clementiorum. I'm not quite sure which variety it is. It's definitely on the darker side. It does have a new leaf growing on it finally, but it's just not been doing much. A lot of the leaves have just been falling off and not really doing anything. And also between the two that I have, I definitely like the other one that I showed you way more than this one. The other one that I'm kind of lukewarm on is my Hoya AH. This is my 0001. Again, has not been a great grower for me. I do love the splash. It's got a lot of really fun splash on it. However, it's been slow. It does have some new leaves forming, so hopefully this one makes a turnaround because, yeah, just not sure. This one also I'm meh on. This is my Hoya Lacunosa Luisa Silver. I have so many silver Lacunosas. I'm going to show you one that I like more than this one, and I just think they look too much alike, to be honest. I did get this one for free. I don't know, I don't feel too bad if I don't keep it. The second to last one that I'm thinking about axing is my Hoya Tangamus. Hopefully I said that right. I liked it, but now I kind of don't like it. And also I am suspicious on if it either has flat mites or I've just been underwatering it too much, because again, it's kind of been giving me that knobby growth. So I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it's just okay. I feel like I have a lot of Hoya that have this appearance that I like better. And then the last one I'm thinking about not keeping is this one, which is I'm kind of sad about, but I'm gonna give it another try in the grow tent, and if it does nothing, then it is what it is. But this is my variegated splashy obovata, and it is quite pretty. It is a nice one. I have not been able to have it grow any leaves for me. This is the closest that I've gotten to a leaf actually staying, and then it just froze in time. This leaf has been like this for months. I don't know what's happening. Pests? Is it me? I don't know. Also, I can hear it. Maybe you can't, but there are children playing outside. So if you hear some background noise, that's what that is. However, you guys don't seem to hear the sounds that I hear, so oh well. Now moving on to the Hoyas on this tray that I am keeping because I do like them. This is the Hoya sulawesiana, and this one has the most beautiful blooms. This one is far, far away from blooming. However, it is continuing to grow. You can see that nice tendril starting. That's nice. These last two leaves looked a little bit pale than what you would anticipate for this plant, but that aside, I just love that it's just a long skinny Hoya. It's got some nice texture on it, but it's the blooms. It's really the blooms for me that I am gonna keep this one for sure. So this is the Lacunosa mint coin, and I definitely like this one way better than the Luisa Silver. I had a really big, beautiful plant of this at one time, and then I rotted it out, and then now I just kind of have these cuttings that are hopefully gonna grow back, but there is some new growth. I just have to make sure that I water this one because it's been through a lot. I think this one is probably my favorite of this tray, 100%. Yeah, this is another Acha. I don't know how to say this, so I'm just gonna leave that here. Such a pretty, pretty stunning plant. Look at it. It's so pretty. This is the other leaf that it grew. It's got a really nice big tendril. Also, do you see how thick that tendril is? It is like sturdy. I just love it so much. I love the textures. It's got texture, splash, veins, you name it, it has it. It's got that purple stripe down the back. Really big leaves too. Like this is my hand in comparison to it. So pretty. One that I will have to research what your name is. It's been a little bit temperamental. I liked it because of the wavy pattern to it, but a lot of the growth has been dying to the point where I just kind of cut off the tendril and I wanted to reshoot another one. The name escapes me, but I will go ahead and pop it up on the screen. And then this is the last one. I'm not going to attempt to say it, so this is what it is. It kind of stalled out a little bit, but I think it's gonna start to grow for me pretty soon. It's nice and variegated and just a cutie. It kind of reminds me of the Hoya Bella a little bit. So that is everything for the bottom shelf. Okay, we are moving one shelf higher off the ground. The rest is just gonna be anthurium. Whoops, I didn't mean to hit this one. Oh my God, I totally forgot you. Hold on. This one was on the bottom grid and I totally forgot to introduce it. So this is a new rehab that I did, and this is my No ID Matthew crossed with a flat Bess. I don't know if I still have the parent pictures. If I do, I'll go ahead and pop them up, but this was one I think I put in the Tazula mix. Sprouted a new leaf. I cut all the old ones off because they did not look very nice, and we'll see what it does. Yeah, I totally forgot this one here. So now we are going to be moving on. Also, this tour is going to have some plants that I bought this year that I actually haven't shown you guys yet because I'm not really doing hauls anymore. It's just a thing. You'll have to like go back and see why. But anyway, okay, so let me actually start off with the non-anthurium, even though I just said that the rest are anthurium. So this was like not even a wish list plant for me, but I didn't even think to put it on my wish list. But then after I made that video, I was like, why didn't I put this on my wish list? Because I have been wanting one for a while. This is a type 2 variegated gloriosum. I believe these are the tissue culture variety. Type 1 is non-tissue culture. However, I am just a sucker for marbled variegation, so I kind of like this one more than type 1. I know a lot of people don't agree with that and they like type 1 better, but you know, it's just my opinion anyway. This is the newest leaf. It has slowly been working on a new one, and I liked this specific one because all of the leaves have beautiful variegation. Again, this is a plant that might revert on you, so if you're gonna be shelling out those dollar bills, you want to make sure that it's gonna continue to be variegated. So I'm pretty confident that this one won't revert, fingers crossed. I have it on the lowest light shelf because it kind of got a little bit melty when I had it too close to a grow light, so that's why I moved it back. I actually repotted it and everything. It's in like a cute little clear square pot in a saucer, and yeah, we'll see how she grows, but she's so pretty. She is so pretty. This is a plant right next to it. Still need to transition this one. This is my Bigfoot velvet mask from Cartel Down, and no really pretty leaves to report on this one. However, it is working on another inflow and a new leaf. Really need to get it out of the old mix. Okay, next one, guys. I shared the story of how I acquired this plant. It was a very wild ride indeed, but I'm so glad that I got it in person. It's so pretty, and it's been doing fantastically well. So this is a Tazula red crystal. I know they have so many red crystals, but here's the tag. This is what it says. It just says standard form. Not sure what that means, but I got it because of the pink veins and the partially fused sinus, like a little bit. It's like half fused. I thought that was super cute. I transitioned it, how many days ago? I think it's coming up to a week. Yeah, it's been a week since I transitioned the substrate, and it's going good. So we got new rootage here. We also have a nice big juicy root here. There's one growing down here. And most importantly, it gave me a new leaf. Way too early to see what it'll look like, but I am interested to see how the color is gonna change because my feed is on the heavier side, so I feel like I can get more pink to come out of this after it starts on my feed. Other than that, it is such a big plant. I didn't expect it to be this big, but it's really cute and I'm glad that it's in my collection. This is my Queen of Hearts, and the transition has been rough, you guys. I kind of anticipated that it was gonna be a little bit of a difficult transition, and I was correct. So this is the biggest leaf. I got this plant from Tazula in January, and I repotted it quite recently. It just spilled water all over me. We will monitor. There are some leaves that are obviously going. This is kind of what it does. It freaks out and it starts to kill off its other leaves. I am using one of these to kind of keep all of the petioles together because it's growing a little wild. I still have the inflow that it came with, and it popped a new leaf, And look at how flat the sinus is. That's really interesting. Really cool if it keeps it. So that one's continuing to grow. I don't know. I'm monitoring it. It's gonna be touch and go. That's why I took the third plant out, just so in case this one really tanks, I will have a backup plant. We are now to the top 2 shelves. Let's continue on with the tour. So I guess we'll start left to right. This is my Woo 4 red crystal, another transition that I made recently. It's got a new leaf on the way, and then these are the other 2 leaves. Super, super dark, really bright red sinus. In terms of any rootage happening, the top roots might start growing. That's really nice to see. This is quite sad. This is an Alocasia aslani. It might not be with us much longer. I just love the aslanis, hopefully I'm saying that right, because do you see like that purpley pink, those like really fine purpley pink veins, and the border is like white? I think they're so pretty, but I don't know if this one's gonna hold on because I transitioned it into pawn and it just started to tank from there. I didn't spend that much on it, so it's not like it'll be super sad, but it is sad just in the sense that I really wanted this one to work out and I don't know if it will. And this is my really sad alocasia. I don't have the best of luck with alocasia, as you may know. The anthurium in the back corner is my NSC Fairchild. This leaf is very ugly and going, do not mind it. This leaf is also not that much better. It got pretty deformed coming out and it looks better than the other one, but yeah, this one was coming out in ambient, so not the prettiest. However, I'm pretty hopeful that the next one it gives me will be better. It's growing out of cataphyll. It's in the Tazula mix. Yeah. So this is my FTG Fairchild. Next little cutie, this is my dark Phoenix Portier. I love those little ears. It's so cute. The little lobe ears are adorable. Another recent transition. This is a common theme here. So really nothing to report yet on rootage, but just really cute emergent leaf. It's still pretty soft, so I'm not going to touch it too much. But are you even focused right now? What are you focusing on? Okay, there we go. Now it's focused. Sorry if it was out of focus earlier. But yeah, cutie pie. This purchase I think I made in February. Total flew too close to the sun. I was watching Rare Plant Fairy on Palm Street. I've watched many Palm Streets and really have not felt an urge to buy any plants. Again, this is a goal that I have, is to not buy a lot of plants this year. And then this one just spoke to me, I guess. I have no excuses for this purchase, but I don't regret it because it is very, 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 very beautiful. This is the Doc Block Red Velvet Cake crossed with Home Sweet Home. Again, with the naming things, it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's a red crystal hybrid. That's all you need to know. Here she is. I can't with the veination, with the color. It's so dark. I think the camera is, oh, that's my dog. Hi, Luca. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Can I film this video or no? We're just gonna continue with him here. So stunning. It's got like a bluey green sheen to it. The veins are so, again, it's really the veins that did it for me, and B, also the color that it has on it. It has such great color. It's growing out of cataphyll, so it is pretty mature. It is popping a second leaf. I transitioned it over as well not too long ago, and it's been doing okay, actually. There is at least one new root that I can see happening right here, and I've been monitoring it very, very closely. So as far as I know, these Doc Block plants are only available through Rare Plant Fairy. That's just why I got it, because I knew that it was probably not going to show up anywhere else for a long, long time. Anyway, yeah. They got me. As you guys might have remembered, I also snagged a Doc Block Michelle when they hit Home Depot stores. What was it, like November of last year? I have one in ambient, and then this one I decided to put in my grow tent. It is working on a leaf. It aborted the other leaf, so we'll see if this one will actually come to pass. It's in the old mix, however, it seems to be doing okay, so if it continues to be like that, I may not transition it. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is heavy. Here she is. Next plant, I literally just put this into the grow tent for the same reason. Too much moss, not drying out enough, not enough feed, hence it's getting a little bit chlorotic. This is an Ace Kuna dark clone crossed with a Carla, the PM1. So this is from Understory Oasis. Really stunning plant. It's doing so well. Again, the venation slays me every time I look at it. It has a very stunning emergent. I will stop touching. This is probably like the most exciting update in this whole tour. I bought a red vein dark phoenix mid 2024. It's been so long. I was trying to get it to root out. It had dry rot, repotted it into the new mix I'm doing. Didn't give me a leaf for like a month or two, and finally it has a new leaf. I am so happy to report. I'm gonna be so gentle with it. Oh, this was the most expensive plant I will ever buy. I am sure I will never spend money like this on a plant again. You cannot believe the happiness that I am currently feeling to have this finally start to grow. Words cannot describe. Top roots are also starting to grow. All of the older leaves are looking beat up at this point, but that's okay because we got this new one. Again, so happy it's finally starting to grow. Okay, next one. This is my Tazula red crystal crossed with the Anise Dressleri from Green Hues. This is the leaf that it decided to pop out, and I just put it in here because it got way too big for the prop box. It is still in moss, so I'm gonna have to change it once this leaf hardens off. It's got like a weird spill at the top of it. I'm not sure what that is, but this leaf is absolutely massive. Also compared to like how small these two leaves are, I was expecting one maybe like twice the size if I was lucky, but not like quadruple the size. This is just insane. It's an absolute beast. I also love the backs. Very pretty in pink. Next, we got an ugly plant that has not been doing well for a long time. This is the Anthurium Pap Voldemort crossed with the Woo 1. Finally transitioned it over. No, do we have new roots? Not as of yet, but we got a new leaf. This is what it looks like. Got attacked by spider mites because it's next to another plant that has spider mites. So I've been trying to treat it as best as I can. I love it for the lobes. It's got these really tall lobes, and hopefully one day we'll have a nice leaf on this one, but the emergence like a deep red, so that's fun. Okay, we're down to our last three plants. This is the Red Spider Self by Cartel Down. So this is the first leaf that it grew in my care. Super pretty venation, didn't quite fuse. Let's see if we got new roots to show. Oh yeah, we do. And they're like a really deep red color, which is interesting. It also, sorry, has a new leaf that just sprouted right here. Well, I'm very excited to see if it'll be fused or not. It's kind of hard to tell at this point right now. This is one of the import leaves. All of the other import leaves I lost because it kind of like bleached off, but hopefully this one will be like a little bit darker in color and fused is what I'm hoping. So you guys, this is also a really exciting one. This is my dark form Ace of Spades. It was sold to me as a Tazula dark form. I don't have the receipts, but that's just what it was sold to me as. Look, I finally have a nice leaf. Almost. It got attacked by spider mites. Do y'all see that or do you not see that? It's at the top lobes and then there's a little bit out to the tip. But other than that, it looks pretty damn good to me. It also has an offset with an equally beautiful leaf. It's very soft, so I don't want to touch it too much. So there are two plants in here. This, I also creased the bottom of it. I don't know if you can see those lines accidentally, but this is like by far the best leaf it's given me compared to like just all the other crusty dusty ones. Yeah, this one I'll take with the spider mite damage any day, and it's also so huge. This is my hand in comparison. It was a joy watching this one emerge. Just really stunning and beautiful. I recently had to repot it just because a lot of the older roots it had died off during the transition over to the new mix, but it also grew a lot of new healthy roots, so I'm not worried about it at all. It's doing good. It's doing good, and it looks so good. Floored. just floored. The other one I will have to pick up the camera for. This is the NSC Silver Crystallinum. This is the newest leaf, which is still floppy. I'll go ahead and pop up the photos of all of the emergence because it had like a really beautiful like gray-brown emergent at one point. This is the older leaf here. It's also flowering. The flowers back here, and it's huge. It's just been chilling up here. Also, it's doing like that lobe thing that I'm not gonna say what it looks like, but if you have a dirty mind, then that's what it is. It's not my term, it's other people's terms. Can't say that on YouTube. There you go. This is the last plant in my grow tent, and that is it for the grow tent tour. Hope you guys enjoyed. So that is my grow tent tour. I am so excited to have this. I was for the longest time against getting a grow tent. I am glad that I have come around because honestly, I think it's gonna really take my growing to the next level, and I hope to finally grow some very beautiful anthuriums. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. A little bit of housekeeping before you guys go, or y'all can go, it's up to you. The polling came in for the 2 camera angles, and overwhelmingly people did like it. I think it was an 86% yes to a no ratio. So I definitely want to continue the 2 angles going forward. In terms of the logistics for me, I don't think it's going to be each and every time I do a chores or a repot. It will kind of depend on my timeline and how crunched I am for time. I will make an honest effort to continue the 2 angles. I want to say thank you to everyone that voted and gave me feedback on that. That's been really, really helpful. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!